I have a story for you about police officers live streaming from a drone in front of a courthouse. And there's other people involved, including the news media. And that's more of where my questions came from. I had a conversation with 3 or 4 other people about how and why am I live streaming from the drone? And there's a few different reasons for that. Not only is it cheaper than flying a helicopter out, I can get it up quicker, I can get the same footage closer to the subjects. Now there's regulations and limitations that I have to follow as a drone pilot versus what a helicopter can follow. Like flying over people, flying over traffic, and that kind of stuff. I can't do that. I have to stay in a safe distance. But there's a lot of benefits to flying a drone and live streaming from it for the news. Now, we're gonna get into just how to do that in like a second, but it's a little more complicated than that. With the consumer drones, you haven't always been able to live stream from them. With the prosumer drones, you've been able to do that with the DJI Go 4 app for a while now. And of course, with the pro drones, like the matrices, you've been able to do that as well with a little bit more configuring, but it all works. Now, about a month and a half ago, I believe, the DJI app updated for the consumer drones. Now I'm talking the Mavic Air 2 and the Mavic Mini 2. Those drones have a completely separate app than the prosumer drones do. And it's actually beneficial, but there's a catch to it. It's a little more complicated to set up than just clicking YouTube or Facebook to stream from. Now for news, we're streaming to a dedicated server, so this isn't very relevant to us, but for Facebook and YouTube streamers that might find it beneficial to stream from a drone for whatever particular reason, here's how to do it. Now there's a reason I'm using a consumer drone versus a prosumer drone, and the image quality isn't it actually, because we're streaming at 720p. Most news media and news outlets are still in 720p, and at least our broadcast out is. If you go look on YouTube for late night talk shows or most other news shows that are streaming and actually uploaded from TV, it's actually in 720, which 720 is still HD considered. One of the considerations that we always look at is the bandwidth needed. Is it worthwhile streaming in a higher bit rate or a higher bandwidth? File size, no, most of the time it's not if we're going to deliver it in 720, especially if we're not cropping in. And with 5G still being really great on downloads, but kind of iffy on uploads, it makes sense to still stream in 720 because we can't do a dual bonded like we can with like the LiveView Solo or some of the other live streaming platforms out there where you can have multiple SIM cards and multiple data sources to broadcast out. With the drone, you're still using your phone. So now you kind of understand why we're doing it. Let's get into actually doing it and the complications about why it's complicated to set it up. So now we're in the DJI Fly app, and so what we're actually going to do is hit the 3 dots up at the very top, and under transmission we're actually see where it says live streaming platforms, and this is where it kind of gets complicated. When you click in there, there's not actually a list of like Facebook, TikTok, anyone else to stream to. You actually have to click on the RTMP server and enter your own. And so let's jump on the computer and let's figure out how to get that URL to stream to. So we're actually going to be streaming to YouTube for this particular case. So what we're going to do is go to YouTube Studio. So we're going to go either to the create button up there or just hit the go live button here. And there you're going to bring up to a dedicated page just to the live stream. But what we're going to focus on here is we're going to need this stream URL, and we're also going to need the stream key right here. And we can reset this here if we want a different stream key. What we're going to do is we're going to copy this, and we're actually going to put a / at the end of this 2 here, and that's where we're going to paste that whole string of URL. There is actually what's going to go into the RTMP server link on the DJI app. So back on your phone, up in the transmission there, we're going to enter those codes there, and we're going to select the stream rate you want it at, which is the bit rate, or the resolution you want it at. Actually, you have to select both of them. If you have enough bandwidth capacity, select the higher one. It'll be a little better of the live stream, but if you don't have that, by doing a speed test beforehand, you can always select the lower one. And we're just going to hit start here, and that countdown basically means in a few seconds it's going to go live. You control your live stream up here at the top by just having the microphone on, the microphone off, because the microphone's coming out of actually your phone here. And then you can always exit, which is ending the live stream. If you look back over on the computer, you actually see there's a live stream here, and it says excellent. What we're actually do is just gonna get this aircraft up in the air a little bit. This whole view here that you see currently is, well, live from the drone. It is delayed on the live stream. One thing you saw me do there is change from the Pro to the Auto, so we can definitely go in here and change this. For live streaming on the go, for news organizations, I do leave it on Auto most of the time, but if this is my professional job, I will do it on the Pro options. And so obviously this is live streaming from a drone. You can see on the computer, that is what we're doing currently, and we're just gonna bring it back. And obviously the stream is gonna continue because that is what we're doing right now. So the way to end it, you can either turn the drone off and that'll end it, but we're just gonna go up to the top, hit exit, and hit end stream. Now the stream you'll see is a little delayed in the computer, but it will end. Now the live stream is completed, everyone's happy, we're back to where we began, the drone's back down. There is one thing to note, it will use a lot more of your battery on your phone, not necessarily the drone, but on the phone itself, it'll drain a lot more. Now you might bring up, there is an option to click charge battery under the controls. Yeah, you can charge your phone, but it doesn't actually charge it. Your phone will actually still decrease in battery percentage. It just can't produce enough energy. Your controller just can't produce enough power to deliver that out to the battery of your phone. So it is something to keep in mind, but bring an extra charger, bring a dual dongle if you're really worried about it. The new phone, I'm streaming with the iPhone 12 Pro, and it's perfectly fine. The 13 even has better battery life. So there's a lot of options you can do. Everything will work great, but thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I enjoyed making it, I guess. Peace.